Hello, welcome back to Benny's Sake. I'm your girl Benny, and today I'm so excited to just kind of slow it down with you guys, have a little chit chat as kind of like a life update almost, like what are some of the things that's been happening with me. So I just thought like maybe, let's sit down and do a little catch up, a little chit chat with what's happening with me. And in here I have some unsweetened cranberry juice because your girl right now is not drinking. I'm trying to not drink until after my birthday, so I just thought I'd do a little chit chat, but I didn't want to have like an empty hand. So we have some cranberry up in here. That's a little hack. If you're trying to still be cute while your friends are drinking wine and doing the things, get you a glass, put your little cranberry juice. This is unsweetened, so there's like no sugar, no nothing. It's just like super healthy. Try that and just like, be part of the little crew, the little situation, while at the same time, honoring whatever goals that you do have. So that's what's in here. If you're excited for this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Turn on the notification bell so that you can always know when I upload, and just subscribe. All I'm trying to say is subscribe, because there's so many things that be happening on this channel. You do not want to miss it. So definitely subscribe, join the family, come hang with your girl, okay? Life lately. As you guys know, like I own my own cleaning service. So that means for the most part, I'm alone. I'm working by myself. And I'm very grateful for my business. Like that baby's been providing for me. I'm just glad that a side hustle that I had in college, a side hustle that it's just doing well enough that it's able to support me. I'm able to travel here and there, and just like I'm comfortable. So I'm very, very grateful. And I think I've spoken about this on this platform before. I feel like with owning your own business, with working for yourself, it has so many great advantages. But some of the things that we don't talk about enough is how often you are by yourself. One of the things that I miss about, even when I was a teacher, or just like even in college, some of the jobs that I held in college, was this idea of community, this idea of like you had coworkers. I didn't always like all of them, but they were coworkers nonetheless. So like I was surrounded by people. I was never alone for like long periods of time. And I realized that I didn't really have a healthy mental space as I thought I did. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if this is true for a lot of cultures, but Africans, you're always told like, go to church, pray, trust God, all of the things, which yes, I believe in that wholeheartedly. Like without Jesus, your girl's gonna be out here like confused, flabbergasted, shocked, provoked, just like angered. Without Christ, like absolutely that is true. However, come on, then in the period, our mental health is not really something we talk about, especially, in the African community. So one of the major things that has happened for me this year was that I started therapy. And today I'm going to be sharing you some of the lessons that I've learned, some of the things that I've just kind of like learned as far as growing my mind and making sure that my mind is as healthy, as productive, as wholesome as it can possibly be. So the first thing, like I said, I started therapy, and some of the things that I've learned through therapy is that I had so much more hurt and just like trauma to unpack in a way that I didn't even realize I had. You know what I'm saying? Like growing up in church, yes, you go to church, you praise God, you trust God, all of those things, but it's very important, just like you would go for like your physical checkup, it's very important that you get your mind right as well. And I didn't realize just like how much, like there was so much things that I was just like holding on to, so many things I was just kind of like, oh, I'm gonna just hold on to this. And in therapy, having to just like sit there and come undone, just like lay your whole life out there, has not been a fun process. It has definitely not been a fun process, but that has allowed me to still free up my mind, because I feel like things, even from childhood, certain things that were said to me and certain things that were just like done, some of them, people were just being mean and they could recognize that they were being mean, but some of them just like, people have their own trauma, they're bleeding from their own shortcomings and their own issues, that they just kind of like, you get this, you get some of this, you get some of that, and you're just walking through life and carrying all of those things. So I didn't realize just a lot of the things that I had to unpack. And I always joke with my therapist, like, it just be annoying to come in every week. It's just like something, and it's like, god dang, like can I just be out here living my best life? It always gotta be something, and it's uncomfortable. But that has really helped me get hold of my mind, because I would notice that how my mind would just like run literally wild. When I'm telling you wild, I mean like I would get really dark. Like I would get in such a dark place where my mind would start making scenarios where I would just be like unhealthy, and I'll hold on to a lot of grudges. I'll replay a lot of the things that people have done or said to me, to the point where like at the end of the day I would feel mentally exhausted. And that was just like a process, like a loophole that I will constantly, you know what I'm saying, like be into. And in the past, one of the ways that I would deal with it was just like get busy. Essentially, I would do anything. Literally in the past, like when I was in college, I would do anything but be left alone with my own thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Like I would overcommit, I would overplan, I would overwork, I would do all of the things. That way my mind is just like focusing on everything but myself, and just be like, okay, like how do we get healthy mentally? How do we just like, start processing all of these thoughts, and deal with some of the things that we've been avoiding for so long? And so therapy has just been like, girl, you have a lot to unpack. I didn't think, it might, God forgive me, but in the past I would always be like, oh, therapy is for crazy white people. Like if I'm being honest, that used to be my thought process. And so yeah, like even me doing this video is to just encourage people like, yo, get therapy, get help, speak to somebody, especially my African women, my African girls, my African men. Please, please, please seek help. It's not comfortable, especially at first when you're like unpacking some of these things. It's not comfortable, but it's definitely gonna push you to grow. It's gonna push you to just like open your mind and challenge yourself to certain things. It's been great, is essentially what I'm trying to say. So no stigma, like get the help. Vulnerability is strength. Now you can be vulnerable with people you trust, but just like opening yourself up and sharing what's going on with you, that is strength. Like that is actually strength. And just playing tough or macho or like that ain't cute. So get the help. Another thing that I had to kind of work through, that I had to learn through, was essentially my identity. I'll be like, oh, I have friends, therefore I'm good. Oh, I have a man, therefore I'm good. Oh, I have, sisters, and we do all these things, therefore I'm good. And I never thought that I can be good just by myself. Like, I don't know if I'm explaining this right. Like, I will always attach my value and my identity based off of who was around me and who I had access to in my life. So when friendships go left, or you and your sisters are not getting as along as you usually used to, or you disappoint certain people, or this, that, and the third, all of a sudden you start feeling as though you're not whole. You start feeling as though you're empty. Now, don't get me wrong, I've literally made videos around how important it is to have community, this, that, and the third. However, you should always be whole without anybody else. And I feel like me personally, I don't think I've ever been like really comfortable to be just me. You know what I'm saying? Like my worth and my identity as a person has always been tied to the people around me. You know what I'm saying? Like I have friends, my friends are bad, my friends are bougie, like we do the things, and that's how I feel like, alive. That's how I feel like rejuvenated. Instead of like, yes, that's an added bonus thing, but instead of just like feeling whole and just like complete by myself, I would always need that external thing to make me feel like I have value or that I have worth in life. Cleaning alone with your thoughts, and I'll listen to podcasts, I'll listen to preachings here and there, but at a certain point you cannot escape your own mind. You know what I'm saying? At a certain point it's just you, and you have to sit there and just be like, well, these are the things. And so being in therapy and just like my self-reflection as I'm cleaning, that has really allowed me to be like, girl, what's going on? I literally also had to deepen my relationship with Christ. Y'all ain't really out here talking about nothing. That, if I'm being honest, Y'all ain't out here talking about nothing. And so I had to make sure that Christ was an active participant, if not the main director, of my life. Because I feel like there were times I would just like move on about and not really just like, slow down and stop. So making sure that I continuously deepen my relationship with God. This is not to be confused with doing churchy stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been in church. I've been in service. I've been in singing choirs for like all my life. I have been in ushering. I've done, young adults. I've done all of the churchy things. Like I've been always, in attendance. Like I will attend churchy things. I will attend church. But that relationship, that like, God loves me, I love him. God directs my thoughts, God directs my life, God directs everything that I do. That wasn't always aligned, and I feel like sometimes Christians, we tend to confuse the two. Just because you go to church doesn't mean you have a healthy relationship with God. You know what I'm saying? Just because you go to church doesn't mean you actually trust God. You know what I'm saying? Those are one of the things that I had to realize, like, yo, I love God and I know him in theory, but I didn't fully trust him. I didn't fully trust him to lead me in my life. And if I'm being honest, every other Tuesday, I don't trust the man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't know what's going to do. But it's like every day, like surrendering that unbelief and surrendering that, like, God, please help me trust. Help me be obedient and help me actually lean on you. Help me to now essentially not lean on my own understanding. That is a journey. That's not something I can ever say like, well, I have arrived. I don't think I'll ever arrive. I will always try. And I feel like these couple of days, through therapy, I've also learned that I needed to essentially just like prioritize that, you know what I'm saying, and take that more seriously. My therapist is a Christian as well. That was very important to me because we're not about to come out here, saying the things that ain't making no sense. Like, yes, you need to be well learned, this, that, and the third, but I just wanted that aspect of faith to just, align as well. So that's very important to me. If it's not important to you, then like, do your thing, boo. It's almost like, as I'm learning about God, I'm also learning about myself. And it's like simultaneously, things are feeling like they're settling more down. My mind feels a little bit more healthier than it has ever been in my entire life. And last but certainly not least, literally my physical health. Now, don't get me wrong, you guys, if you've been following me for a while, I'm always trying to be healthy. For a second, I was a vegan. I've always, been mindful about what I'm eating, this, that, and the third. But I feel like when you start doing work from the inside out, even my reasoning for wanting to be healthier have kind of like changed and shifted. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not as vain as it was before. Don't get me wrong, I still want to, look my best self. I want to be snatched. I want to have toned legs. I want to have toned arms. I want to have, a six-pack. Like, I want to have all of these things. But the main reason, the main goal, the main, like, why are you actually doing this, that has greatly shifted as I've done some work on the inside, as I've done some work, like, spiritually. Like, I wholeheartedly want to be healthy. So I've been doing my best, like, working out 3 to 5 times a week, trying to drink my water, cutting down on alcohol whenever I can, because even that was like another coping mechanism where, like, whenever I feel like annoyed or upset, let's get a glass of wine, let's get, a little liquor, a little this, and it's like, wait a minute, are we just using other things, to mask how we're actually feeling inside? Are we using food, to mask how we're feeling inside? So just like, as I'm doing the work on the inside, still in the process, not at all where I need to, I want to be or where I need to be. But as I'm doing the work on the inside, it's becoming a little bit easier to understand how to even take care of myself, physically. Like, your mind will feel renewed. The Bible does say, we should not conform to the patterns of this world, but we should be transformed by the renewing of our mind. So the way to renew your mind is to start, like, asking yourself these deeper and, hard questions, seeking help when you can, and just like surrendering to God. Surrender to something higher than yourself. You will have a renewed mind, and there is nothing better than a renewed mind. Alrighty, there you have it. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know down below which one of these points resonated with you the most. Are you in therapy? What are you learning? all of the things. Let's talk down below in the comments. If you haven't already subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that you always know when I upload, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye Z's.